In a low voice, hello friends. Has the broadcast started? It has started. All right. Hello friends, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Ozan Kirkbay. Welcome all to my astrology channel. Yes, welcome all to my astrology channel. To the weekly astrology broadcasts. Friends, as you know, every week on our channel, every weekend, we talk about the course of the sky and the movement of the planets for the following week. For us, as the planets take shape in a certain direction, our lives also take shape in that direction. That's why we became interested in this science. We study it and we share the information with you. Now, the Sun, which represents logic, is currently in Gemini. Venus, which represents money, women, comfort, relationships involving money, comfort, and pleasure, is in Taurus, the sign it rules. Mars will continue its journey in Leo until the middle of next week. Mars is already the planet of war and struggle. In fact, with the energy it receives from the Sun, the solar star, it wants to take on leadership, even though it is the loyal sign of fire. So, when Mars is in Leo, since these energies are very compatible, since their characteristic natures match very well, Mars actually makes all of us more enterprising. Now, next week, Mars will end its journey in Leo and move into Virgo. Virgo is also innovative, cautious, and since it is an earth sign, it is both cautious and mutable. Because it is the mutable sign of Earth. In this case, starting from the middle of next week, our way of dealing with challenges will become more cautious, flexible, adaptable, and focused on innovation. At the same time, since the Virgo constellation has stronger intuition compared to the other 11 signs, and it is now the sign closest to the Sun, within the planets as well, we will enter a struggle for renewal that is cautious and systematic, where intuition will be more prominent. Just as Pluto moves through Aquarius, guiding us toward higher consciousness, because Mercury represents the mind. Uranus, on the other hand, represents higher consciousness, the higher mind. Now, as Pluto enters Aquarius, it is saying that you will transition to higher consciousness. And when Mars, which also represents the mind, the structure of the brain, and thought enters Virgo along with its intuition, inevitably Mars and Pluto are preparing to lead us toward the same point. Let's not forget that Jupiter, being in Cancer, also supports creativity. It has just recently entered. Along with creativity, in a cautious and systematic way, we need to transition to higher consciousness with the discipline Saturn brings to the area of self. Besides, Pluto has already turned retrograde and moved forward. Now, it will go back and start moving forward again from the beginning because it's a retrograde motion. The most important thing there is not to give in to Pluto's emotional obsessions. Pluto's emotional obsessions. Because when Pluto is retrograde, it creates emotional obsessions. Where? In Aquarius. When transitioning to higher consciousness, especially regarding unconventional relationships. Because Aquarius means unconventionality, and so does Uranus. So it starts to push you toward doing things you would never normally do. Because, you know, Pluto has those emotional obsessions. It will try to steer you exactly in that direction. But if you don't fall for it and return to Aquarius' usual state, you'll start progressing beautifully toward higher consciousness. Next week, we're going to experience exactly this. Now, we're going to examine this through the zodiac signs. Next week, first of all, the moon now. For those with Aries sun or rising sign, this is for you. The moon will be in conjunction with Pluto in the 11th house. There's a magnetic effect because Pluto stones are magnetic. You'll be turning from the 11th house, from external sources. When we say external sources, you'll be turning away from the sources you were expecting to receive from. Gradually, you'll start to shed the old shell that's been lingering on you. Because Pluto is in Aquarius, and, well, it has started to push that shell away, and you'll begin to push it off in order to move yourself to a higher consciousness. This means you'll start to push away your entire life, your way of living, and your lifestyle. And when Mars moves into the 6th house, you'll begin to systematically shed all of this from your daily routines, one by one, tick by tick. Jupiter is creating a renewal in your 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th houses at your roots. It offers you opportunities for renewal because that's our 4th house. By both shedding your old shell and taking advantage of the opportunities brought by Jupiter, you will approach things anew with your creativity shedding that shell, and also working on the vital area of your first house, where Saturn is, in a disciplined way. Because Saturn gives you insecurity there. Don't get caught up in that shadow of insecurity. At the beginning of the week, in the 11th house, with the receivables you'll get from external sources, it will start pushing you more and more to the other side. This side will be left empty. You just toss it out from here with a click. After that, the moon will move from Aquarius into Pisces. You will experience emotional completions because it's in Pisces, and the lunar node is there as well. There. While you are deeply feeling everything to the core and busy with these completions, you will literally see which direction you need to turn, as Pluto tells you to turn this way. Finally, the moon will move into Aries. It will conjunct with the planet Saturn, and next week you will embark on this discovery in the realm of self with an extraordinary sense of discipline. Finally, the moon will move into Taurus to meet Venus and Uranus, to your house of values. There, you will both get acquainted with and start getting used to your new values, and then move on to the phase of systematically building them with Mars in Leo. Dear Aries, Sun and rising sign Aries, with whom will you do this now, and in which area will you do it? That's up to you. Mayday, mayday. Exactly. Because Jupiter is in the 4th house. If you are separated from your ancestors or parents, it truly brings color to your own household there. Pluto adds color as well, with power coming from external sources. Structuring it beautifully will become your #1 goal starting next week. Now, let's move on to Taurus signs. Dear Taurians, Mars is transitioning into your 5th house. What is the theme of the 5th house for next week? Pets, flirtations, gifts, hobbies, and children. You will start to create a tangible innovation here in a systematic way. You are already a Taurus, you are creative, and when Mars combines with your creative intuition in Virgo, there will be a real celebration next week in the life of dear Taurus, in your new life. Exactly. Starting right at the beginning of the week. Where will the moon be? At first, the moon will be in your 10th house, in your career house. After its conjunction with Pluto, Mars will now be there, and for the first time, Mars will be in your 4th house. As soon as the moon moves into Pisces, you will also transition into your 5th house. Now, you need to step out of your comfort zone, stop fighting just for security, and completely shape this, creating this new version. Because Mars in Virgo means you should fight with yourself, and for renewal. The week kicks off as the moon enters Pisces. In your 11th house, take what you receive from the outside and start renewing yourself. Begin this renewal in such a way that by the end of the week, when the moon conjuncts Saturn, it will be in Aries in your 12th house. Complete things in your own domain in the best way possible. Because Saturn in Aries represents the area of self. Did you do this, man? You did. The moon has moved into Taurus. At the end of the week, Uranus will make you seek freedom, and Venus will make you seek material things. During the moon conjunction, you might make sudden emotional decisions together. The biggest support you'll get here is that Mars in Virgo will intuitively let you know if something isn't right. If you sit with that intuition, if you feel it, as far as what it tells you, I'm on the right path, go for it with enthusiasm. Throw yourself in. Go for it with enthusiasm. Jupiter brings you new ideas in your 3rd house. How about this? Your environment and space are also asking. How about this? Wait, let me ask my intuition. Because Mars is in Virgo. Is it good? It's good. Go for it with enthusiasm and do it in an organized way. Dear Taurus, next week, because Pluto is in your 10th house. Now, make good use of it. Now let's move on to Gemini. The Sun is in the 1st house, your rising house. Mars is moving into your 4th house. Everything is about your home, your ancestors, and security. This will start from the middle of next week. Up until now, you've been dealing with your immediate environment, spaces, and short trips. Now, it's entirely about the 4th house. In other words, the 410 axis me ancestors, my own security zone. My own home is automatically on the opposite side. And along with this, my career. So where is Pluto? In the 9th house. It's busy elevating your entire way of life to the next digital level. Where is Jupiter? It's in your 2nd house. In the house of values, it keeps giving to you so that you can create. Mars is transiting your 4th house. You've now retreated to defend your own home. That's it. It's over. The Sun in your 1st house is pushing you to explore yourself. because there are plums there. Saturn is also saying you'll receive the oppositions you give in external resources. Saturn says that there you'll encounter authoritative and tough creditors. I will give this to you. You gave to me, so I will give this to you as well. But I recommend you do this. Well, according to my truth. What's it to you? No, this is more correct. Saturn is in the 11th house. It gives this. You have to manage them. In other words, you are in a position where you have to handle them, just like at the beginning of the week, with the moon conjunct my Pluto in your 1st and 9th houses. It will show you how you need to prepare for the new phase. If all your chakras are open, you will literally watch it like trailers. From there, it moves out and enters your 10th house. With the moon's conjunction with the lunar node in Pisces, you'll feel relieved. You'll really feel relieved. At the same time, Mars is also moving into your 4th house. The weekends, with a moon-Saturn conjunction where is Aries, in terms of external resources. It's the area of self. You can really go for it. As long as you don't get stuck on the obsession Saturn brings you there, as long as you don't get caught up in the fixations of those tough people, because the final destination, with the moon moving into Taurus at the end of the week, you'll be making an assessment, along with completions and sudden surprises. By sudden surprises, I mean people trying to trip you up from behind, because it's the 12th house. Now, you'll be sorting things out with them, doing the necessary reckoning. You'll definitely be sorting things out. Everything you've been doing all week. Then, with Mars in the 4th house, how do you want to systematically build your home? How do you want to fight for your household? How do you want to fight for your career house? You'll design that and step into the new week. Next week, dear Gemini, you need to make the most of this and get through the first stage. Now, let's move on to Cancer signs, as it also applies to them. You said, dear Cancer. So what are Cancers doing? Is it something like this? Pluto is in the 8th house, benefiting from other people's resources. Other people's resources, real estate, stock market, inheritance. Similarly, Cancer signs need to endure deep emotional transformations. Exactly. Mars has left the house of values, its 2nd house. As of the middle of next week, it has entered the 3rd house. What is its theme? Close environment, siblings, neighbors, and turning your thoughts into a lifestyle by entering into a struggle with the support you receive from them. Mayday, because the real owner of that house is Gemini. Its counterpart, reflected across, is the 9th house. The philosophy of the house of life is Sagittarius, but for you, it's Virgo. That's why you're starting a week where your intuition will work double. Now, you're entering the week with the support the moon and Pluto will give you through other people's resources. But if you leave that aside and get caught up in emotional, sentimental, and tribal inflation because Pluto is in retrograde, you'll lose what you could have gained there. So you need to pay attention to that first of all. After that, when the moon moves into Pisces, now Pluto retrograde gives you a chance for transformation from there. It's the Pisces moon psychology, you know, the lunar node. If you say, I want to sacrifice what I've already given up or something like that. Because Pisces works in that way. Take this and turn back. While there are no planets in the 9th house and the lunar node is there, after that you'll head toward the Saturn conjunction, just in case. At the Saturn conjunction, it will plant a pine tree there, in the living space in Aries, and it will say, together with Mars in the 3rd house, keep giving to me as much as you can. Keep giving as much as you can. Why? Because you are like a sibling in Jupiter's 1st house, exactly in Jupiter's 1st house. It gives you all kinds of support. Mercury is there as well. Mars is already constantly transmitting intuitions to your 3rd house mind. What you need to do is nourish me together with your external resources. You are required to nourish the Saturn in the 10th house in this way. And Jupiter gives you every kind of luck here. In the 11th house, along with what you are going to receive, Venus is already there with unexpected developments. From there, suddenly and surprisingly, it's like, you forgot this. You forgot that. Take it, take it, take it, take it. You need to start taking action from the control room next week. Mayday, mayday. Now, there's really nothing else to do. And if it doesn't work out afterwards, don't go looking for someone to blame. Don't ask why it didn't work out. Why didn't it work out? Because of you. Why? Because of your emotional traumas. Pluto is in retrograde. Now, let's move on to Leos. Bitter. Where did Mars enter, my dear Leo? It's entering your house of values. Next week, it will be in your 2nd house. For you, it's Virgo. You will fight for your house of value. You will enter into a struggle for your own talents and values, dear Leo. How will you do this? By using the power of Pluto, which is retrograde in the 7th house emotional obsessions from the past. Because it's retro, emotional obsessions from the past. Where are we entering from next week? We are entering from the 7th house. Serious matters and serious relationships. Opportunities and reckonings that are rooted in the past and connected to the present will come from there. You will leap from there. The moon will move into your 8th house, into Pisces. At the same time, you will try to benefit from other people's resources. But at the same time, you will go through emotional transformations. Dying and being reborn, emotionally speaking, it died. You gave in, you died emotionally. You transition to a new version. If you can leave a part of yourself behind there. That's what this means. And at the same time, benefiting from others' resources and doubling up. Double, double. If you can do this next week, the last moon will move into Aries for a Saturn conjunction. There, Saturn will have an account to settle with you. What did you do? When the moon was conjunct Pluto, I did this, and this. Did you balance that account? But if Mars has moved into Virgo, into my house of values, I might have gotten carried away there. It doesn't concern me. It doesn't concern me. Never. You might have a problem. Because the ruler, your ruler, is the sun. There, you might have a tendency to get stuck on yourself. Is high. That's why Pluto in the 7th house will call you to account for this. If it passes through there, you'll get stuck on Saturn. Because at the end of the week, the moon will enter your 10th house of career. There, with Uranus, it will help you see new horizons, will provide. And then Venus is there too, if you can make the most of them. But to be able to take advantage of this, as Saturn says, you need to prepare for an entirely new way of life. Man is needed, and do it fairly. And you need to do it in a fair way, in a kinky way. Because Saturn, what does it represent? ER. Pure reality, this is you, your most natural right. This is also the other person's most natural right. Right. T, Erazi put it in. Is it the same? Same. But I put more effort into you. We will give our labor anyway. There's no problem with that. If you say, I found it and take it upstairs, in the meantime. So do that. Well, do it well, because Jupiter, telling Kate second, Mars has entered the house of values. Mars has entered the house of values. Whatever you do, intuitively, and with the sun in your 11th house, you'll already be receiving plenty of productivity from the outside. It's your own ruler, radiating energy. But if you still try to handle things on the other side, trying to take care of that part in a practical way, that's where Saturn will make you sing well there. It will completely settle the score with you. Otherwise, it will support you full throttle from behind. In the next phase, so that you can move on, you will chase Pluto. The choice is of. You will also live the consequences, and you will reap the rewards. Now, let's move on to Virgos. So Virgos, what's the situation? What's going on? Now, Mars is passing through your 1st house to you. It has been restricting your energy for 2 months. Mars is passing ahead of us week. House number 1. You're going on an exploration, man. Mayday, mayday. Why day? Mayday, mayday. Why are you exploring? Pluto's organization in house number 6, you're exploring to broaden it even more. How are you doing this? By exploring with the support that Saturn provides you from other people's resources. To you, that others give you, you set out to explore. So, the sun in the 10th house is already shining a light on your career. So, step by step, the steps thanks to Mars moving into your rising signs house, you will proceed step by step. And you will work it out smoothly. And S in the 11th hole, in the 11th house, Manali home, literally opens a rainbow for you. In what way? Your approach to money and your understanding of how you relate to the opposite sex in the form of changing the understanding of the approach. What? Stinnagan. Uranus and Venus are in your 9th house. Right? That's why. Uranus is trying to help you see everything from a higher consciousness. And for that, if necessary, he plans to break your obsessions to pieces, to shatter them completely. Our sudden developments will come along with this. Who is in the sign he rules? Who is in the horoscope? Pluto. And it will change in a furry way. Yet, you take this stage in the joint production of Uranus and Pluto. Give a recital. And while doing this, the fog of Mars in Virgo, do it in a disciplined way. Gifts from Jupiter are already coming from outside. House number 6. In organizations, very good research, very good efficiency. The 7th house. Start turning these things towards seriousness and seeing where fate is leading you and seeing where your heart is taking you. Finally, the Sa. A turn conjunction, Adaska. Did you secure it from your nails? The moon is moving into Taurus. It is moving to the sign of A. Give it your enthusiasm in the direction of Mr. Bashar. They're beating up the one who gives, just so you know. They really are beating up the one who gives. Friends, I am Ozan Kortbey. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it for today's video. See you in the next video. Take care. For now, this is the aim lesson. All right. You can turn it off, bro. Exactly.